What is going on, guys? In today's video I'm going to be running my SCX 10.2 four-wheel steer competition rig. My name is Logan with West Desert Wheeler. I put rear steer on my competition rig kind of just for the fun of it. The chassis on this thing ended up bent and I cut off the rear to allow the servo to articulate a little bit, but I am going to be going back to a new chassis rail and I'm going to be getting rid of the rear steer. But I figured I'd go and make a video of it before I did that. I'm just out here having fun with it. I am out here in the Coyote Canyon. I hope you guys enjoy the content. Let's get after it and see what this thing can do now that I can wiggle the rear tires too. All right, guys, this is an SCX 10.2. I've got the suspension tuned so that it is full droop setup. It is on Capra portal axles. So the chassis actually sits directly on top of those portal axles. And so it's got a really low ride height. So I get a nice low center of gravity, but it can still articulate pretty well with these Desert Lizard shocks. Put some different springs in here and kind of got them tuned up for this truck to get them just right. On the rear, I've got Rock Pirates RC shock towers, which really affected the angle of the rear shocks. So I had to put a stiff rear spring on the up travel so that once the truck got steep like this, it didn't just want to like roll right over. Because I kept having issues with that before I got those springs put in there. Now that I've done that, it really seems to like the setup that it has. So here we go. Try and get our rear tires worked over now. Nice and steep. That low center of gravity is just so awesome in this truck. Got the traction where I wanted it. Bam! That was an impressive steep climb. So the tires on this are the Proline Flat Iron XLs in the G8 compound. I did not find any in the Predator compound. Just went down to my local hobby shop and grabbed these. If you guys are looking for a set, I will link them below in my A-Main affiliate link, where if you purchase a set through there, it helps support my channel. A-Main has an awesome selection of RC products, so be sure to get over there and check out all the awesome stuff that they have. I don't really know where I'm going with this, but I guess we'll try and crab our way across. I do not have a dig unit set up in this, so having the four-wheel steer really helps this thing change direction. Touch that down nice and slow. Let's allow the front end to come down. Whew, had to get on it just a little bit, but we got it out. Got ourselves a pretty wicked little notch here. Let's get our tires up on this vertical wall before it's too late. So I can just give a little bit of angle on the rears just to help them to start climb. Like I say, it doesn't take much. There we go, we can straighten them back out. So now the key with the four-wheel steering, that's really awesome with the four-wheel steering, is once these front tires push into a wall, like we're about to do on the front driver, then it's going to spin the rear tires usually. And once that happens, it makes your rear want to slip. So we're gonna wiggle them. And so right here, I can tell that this rear tire needs to push harder into this wall because that front end's trying to kick the truck sideways. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna give it a little more rear steer just to hold it against that wall. Doesn't take much. And then we can straighten it right back out now that the front end is out of that bind. So it's just little adjustments like that. That's where you're gonna see the biggest differences with the rear steer setups. Obviously, tighter turning radius is a huge bonus, but a dig unit can turn tighter than the rear steer can, as long as you get the slip. So right here, I can start to turn and just let my rears follow that crack straight up. Maybe even dip them down to help give the fronts an anchor to pivot around on. And then we can straighten back up. And then we'll take it back up. And I guess one thing I forgot to mention is I have added overdrive in the front axle on this truck, so this thing finally has some overdrive gearing. It's pretty mellow. I think it's somewhere around like 15 to 20%. It's the hot racing overdrive gear set, so nothing too wild in it, just a little bit of performance gain here. There we go. Keep that front axle balanced. You can even just wiggle it down. Now we're gonna turn back into the wall. We're watching our rears though to see what they needed. Keeping the front end balanced. I'm gonna go driver on the rear and then come back straight on the rear. Watching all four tires at once can be a little tricky. Oh, we almost lost the front. I think we did. So you don't want to do that. Okay, we lost the front. The rear's still on the wall, so I guess we did our job there. Nice. Up this wall, around here, and then we're gonna swing out and around this edge where it points up into that next canyon. That's really tippy spot right there, so let's see if we can get this truck to get up through it. I just drove it all the way down, but as we all know, down is always different than up, so. Okay, got the truck up. Let's crab it. Let's take a reset. It's really steep. I don't know if this truck's gonna want to climb this steep. Front suspension's unloaded. Need a suck down winch. Okay, we do have an option around here, so we're gonna take a backup and then kind of go around all that. Okay, now setting us up for another really steep climb, but I think it's got it. Maybe try the rear end the other way. So close. Front end got the up top. Got it, got it, got it. Nice. Sweet. We're about a third of the way there. So let's see if we can side hill along here. Get that rear end pointed uphill. You don't want it to climb while we're side hilling like this. You just want to stay as high as possible to give you the most room allowable for slipping. Okay, doing good. This is the first time I've ever run this, so I have no idea if it's actually going to work or not. Let's try and get this climb right here. Front got the hook. Now it's in the undercut. Gotta get those rears out of that underhang. Hold it off, nice. Now we're working up the next ledge. Just gonna take it one tire at a time. Rear's coming up. Got the weight bias up front, so it helps that pull it off. All 4 tires uphill, pulls the truck right up. All right, now here's the real test. Absolutely the most sideways part of this trail. And there's a big crack right through the middle of the worst spot. So, oh yeah, on top of that, if it falls, it's about 20 feet down. So, don't mess up, guys. Just gotta take it nice and slow. Don't want the fronts or the rears to climb that ledge. Turning into it. Nice and slow. Need this truck to pivot right here. Ooh, this is gnarly. So sideways. Okay. I drove across that on the way down, but I didn't know if coming across it the other direction would make the difference or not of being able to not make it. So now we're gonna turn downhill and start working our way up ledges. So the challenge is definitely not over yet, but the danger mostly is. Okay, so we got such a gnarly overhang here. Let's try and get the front end through it. I don't know if this is going to be possible. So we're actually carrying a front tire, which is good right here. Now it's going to grab. Now our other front tire's in the air for some reason. It's back down. I guess we'll try and come driver on the rear actually. Crab driver. It's pivoting the whole truck around. Fully four-wheel steered out here. That was close. Had the traction, then it stopped. Just working the rear slightly. With no up travel on the suspension, it really likes to hop when you get it on spinning. Okay. Only had to take bypass on that one, but that's a really gnarly overhang. Saw this one hiking back to the truck, had to hit it. So like I was mentioning earlier, the biggest difference between rear steer and non-rear steer rigs is that you can get your tire placement just perfect with the rear steer. So on a V-notch like this with a tag axle rig, I'd be driving my front end like all over the place trying to get the rear set up just perfect for this climb. So I can already start to chase this V-notch with the fronts, and then as I'm coming up, I'll just point the rear where I want them. So there we go. And then I can stay perfectly balanced with my front and rear with the four-wheel steer. Hey, real quick guys, if you have not followed me on Instagram, be sure to get over there and do that. You can see updates on the rigs and follow my builds as I go. I've been posting up about building this bed a little bit. My buddies over at Rock Pirates RC are helping me get some influence over there because they put a badass bed on the back of their Power Wagon, and mine's gonna end up being just a little bit smaller. So soon it'll be painted. Maybe I'll go with some weird color that doesn't match the rest of the truck, or maybe I will make it match the rest of the truck. I'm not sure yet. Come on, come on, come on. Sweet. Well, awesome guys, my name is Logan with West Desert Wheeler. I will leave links to all the products on this truck down below so you can build your own if you choose to do so, or you're just interested in learning more about what's on it. I really appreciate you guys' time. Please drop a comment down below what you think of this truck. Let me know if I should keep it four-wheel steer or if I should go back to front steer only. Maybe add a dig unit on this truck, that would be super helpful. Until next time guys, I really appreciate you watching. We'll see you in the next one. Keep the rubber side down.